Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka Christian Stale with the puns. In this video we're breaking down the brand new rumours that a returning Batman will be appearing at the end of The Flash. Grace Randolph dropped the scoop last night and it's been trending worldwide, so I thought I'd bring you our thoughts on the entire thing. You could please smash the thumbs up button first and make sure you subscribe because we're doing a trailer breakdown on the movie coming this Monday. Without the way, huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the news.
It's all connected.
So Grace posted this last night on Twitter. #DC, #DC Studios. I hear there's gonna be a former Batman who cameos at the end of The Flash and could potentially stick around as the new permanent DCU Batman. Damian's dad, Pattinson, is still solo. I know who it is, but it would be cool to reveal the whole thing. Now with this, she included a picture of 3 Batmen and later said that it was one of these 3. This builds off the back of a video that she dropped last week, talking about specific things that could be coming at the end of The Flash.
Now let me tell you a little bit of Flash tea. I just found out, that in The Flash they've stripped out, James Gunn has instructed them to strip out all of the teases at the end of the movie. Henry Cavill's been taken out, Gal Gadot's been taken out, Sasha Calle has been taken out, so that's why I think they're going with a different Supergirl. It's just going to be Barry just runs between the universe, the multiverse, and everything's going to stay in the movie. I also heard that Michael Keaton was taken out at the end as well. So they're all out. It's just going to be Ezra Miller comes back to some other reality. So Ezra Miller is truly the Flash wild card that he is in the comics, and he can go wherever he wants. But they're not going to keep anything from that movie, at least in the main universe. It's just been, all the promises of that ending have been stripped out. I heard that they are filming a special cameo with a character from a long time ago in the DC world, so I think that's going to emphasize that Barry can go wherever he wants. But that's a really, really big deal. And I do believe, because of that, Sasha Calle is not the Supergirl that they're discussing here. Because there is a Supergirl movie that they're making, which we're going to talk about.
Anyway, let's become the world's greatest detective and go over why we can pretty much say that the person that they're going to bring across is Bale. Now firstly, Val Kilmer has had a lot of health issues, and unfortunately the guy's almost completely lost his voice due to suffering from throat cancer. This was a big plot point in Top Gun Maverick, spoilers, and they clearly had to work around it in that. What do you mean it was a spoiler? It was the biggest movie of the year. Don't pretend like you didn't go and see it 5 times, mate. I'm f***ing furious with you, they're lying. Now they worked around it in that movie, however I can't see them doing that in the DCU because the brave and the bold Batman needs to be in the action and the franchise is going to be heavily reliant on him. Secondly is George Clooney, and I actually thought he was alright as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman, should have been put on ice because Batman and Robin was met with a cold reception.
Cool party.
I don't think he would do it, as he's often joked about how Batman almost ruined his career and how he almost ruined Batman. Clooney is also 61 years old, and I think he's way past the point that you bring him in as someone's dad and make him Batman for the next 10 years or so. Now the most obvious and probably most loved Batman is Christian Bale. I still think that the Dark Knight trilogy is one of the most well-received comic book movie trilogies of all time, and Bale is the one actor that carried that. Sure, it had major casts and villains, but Bale was at the forefront of this for every film. Man's also been dipping his toe in comic book movies recently due to his appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder. The less said about that movie the better, but we did talk about how there might have even been a tease to Bale in the original Flash trailer. Listen closely.
Are you in?
At the time, I said that sounded like Hans Zimmer's score, and the Batcave itself was clearly laid out more like the one from the Dark Knight trilogy as opposed to Keaton's. It had the waterfall and pit in the middle, which is what we typically see with him over the Tim Burton version. Now, I do think that this shot is definitely Keaton from behind, but either way, it's interesting that they chose to show these things. Now, hearing this, I am kind of a bit, if it's Bale, can you do it? So like one of those. I'd love to see him back, obviously, but I think they probably need to do something with the voice, or maybe even have Damian make a joke about how stupid his dad sounds. He's got the kind of attitude where the character could definitely drop something like this, and it would endear the new Robin to audiences. Secondly, I am a bit unsure on whether they should f*** with the ending of the Dark Knight trilogy. Outside of Endgame, I really don't think that another comic book movie comes close in giving its characters a send-off to that level, and I remember crying in the cinema when I watched it because I'm a little bitch. I do like the ending of No Way Home, mind, but Bale's send-off was by far the best and the perfect way to close out the trilogy. If he's back, it also makes you wonder what's happened to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Man probably got killed backing his car out of the cave because he was well out of his depth. However, this would also offer the opportunity to Damian to take his name Robin as a tribute, and it might make Bruce realise that he's the person for the job. Damian is also the son of Talia al Ghul, so he'd have to learn some extra stuff about what happened after that night in the mansion. Either way, this news is really interesting, and it would definitely give not only The Flash, but also the DCU a bit of goodwill. The Flash movie's been marred with several different controversies, and we also have the entire thing going on with the DCU at the moment. I think all of the firings were the wrong way to start off, and it kinda got the plans off on the wrong foot. We lost so many actors that people liked in such a short time, and Fire James Gunn was trending all the time on Twitter since that day. I think bringing Bale back could actually win people back around, and I'm one of those people who's like, well, I want to see what he does, but I'd like Henry Cavill if I'm being honest. And not only would this get people interested in going to see The Flash, but it would also put the DCU on the right foot and get people excited for the upcoming Batman movie. DC's clearly expecting The Flash to do big numbers as they're doing a Super Bowl trailer for that when poor Shazam 2 releases in a month's time. I actually think it's smart to get an established Batman to be the main one in the DCU, and then we're seeing how this already built up character interacts with having a son. However, I think that they would have to change things slightly, and I did watch The Dark Knight Rises last week, just randomly out of the blue. I forgot how messed up Bruce was in that with the limp and stuff, so I think they might do something similar to what they're doing with Wolverine in the upcoming Deadpool film. The multiverse is now open, and thus these versions are slightly removed from what we've seen before, but we know some of the character beats that they've already been through. So maybe Talia wasn't dropped in the pit in that movie, she got raised by her father in normal circumstances, and her and Bruce got it on and then had a kid. Selena, have you seen her? Nah, because Bruce settled down with Talia, and then they possibly parted ways, leaving Bruce as the Batman in the universe. I genuinely think getting Bale back is one of the smartest things that Gunn could have done, as it makes The Flash a must-see movie, but in the past, I know a lot of people have been like, F this film. It also gets the DCU off on the right foot, and at least gives us some solid casting for the Trinity. It also means that The Flash is going to feature Keaton, Ben Affleck's Batman, and Christian Bale's, and therefore you have these three characters together, some of the most well-loved ones all in the same film, which I think would be a good way to market it. It just gets the DCU off on the right foot, and at least gives us some solid casting for the Trinity. When Man of Steel first came out, it was of course produced by Nolan, and there were talks that they might try and get Bale in the universe before Affleck was cast. This has been debunked, but I definitely think that the earnest feeling of Man of Steel was building off the back of the Dark Knight trilogy, and it's clear that in DC there's always been this thought of get Christian Bale back. I think Bale would be a pretty good place to start again, and it just depends whether he'd do it with or without Nolan. Now, as always, take these kinds of reports with a pinch of salt, but I do trust Grace, especially when it comes to DC. She said Henry Cavill was out when it seemed like there was no way that would happen, and she's really confident in this. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you more hyped for this movie if it's true? Does this make you more excited for the future of the DCU? Comment below and let me know, and just to let you know, we're running a competition right now and giving away Wakanda Forever to 3 subscribers on the 15th of February. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the video. We pick the comments at random at the end of the month, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, make sure you check out one of our videos linked on screen right now, which is going over a topic you love, because I chose best for viewer, so YouTube's made that decision that you love it. Out of the way, thanks for sitting through the video. I've been Paul, no promises that it's a good video, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.